Our Facebook page is News on TV3 and on Twitter is at News on TV3, or you can go to our website tv3network.com. Let's begin. And the National Petroleum Authority has increased fuel prices by up to 25%. The increment takes effect from Monday, July 14, that's today. Petrol has been increased by 23.08%, while diesel has been increased by 22.01%. Liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) has been increased by 15.68%, and that of premixed fuel by 25.06%, making it the highest increment. The NPA attributed the increases to the price of the commodity and the depreciation of the cedi. So I read that to you, but we want you to pay particular attention to the table we've compiled of the various increases.
Start charging the new fare immediately. The government started increase the distance. So we sit down with the company management and then we work out the formalities before we normally come out with our new fares.
It's too expensive because as at now, as a salary worker, the pay has to be increased, and so.
I mentioned that we have reporters all over. We've already spoken to Sandra Makwe. We will now get to Daniel Latte to also give us a sense of what's happening in town.
And the union are also not certain about the prices. Now, we initially spoke with the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the GPRTU, and he insists that they are now writing letters to the unions here, but our source from the Regional Coordinating Council tells us that letters have not yet been released to them, and so they don't know how much to charge. Now, let's speak with a driver here and ask if they have changed the fare. Hello. What is your name, sir?
My name is Nana Buaji.
Now, tell us, how much were you charging and have you increased your fare?
The first we are charging 4 cedis. Right now is 45 cedis.
You were charging 4 cedis.
Now we are increased 5%.
And so what's the difference now?
50%.
Now, when you calculate the 15%, how much are you supposed to add to it?
It's 4 cedis, 60%. It's 4 cedis, 60% because of the passenger the way the situation. So we are reducing them to 4 cedis, 50%.
And so, yes, just from this driver, he was supposed to add 60%, but the chairmanship here have directed them to add 50% instead of 60. I'm told earlier on that others have also increased by 10% in order to meet a margin. Now let's talk to this gentleman here and see if he has also increased. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Earlier on you were telling me that you have increased it by 10% in order to meet a fixed price. Tell us about it.
Oh no, the actual thing is that we had information that we should increase it to 15%, and now we are operating from Tema Station to Adenta, so our percentage will be 15, to be around 1 CD 96%. In order to be factors, we have made it 2 CDs flat. So we are having no problem with our passengers.
And so you are having a flat rate from where to where?
From Adenta, from Tema Station to Adenta. From here to Zogo Junction is 1 CD 70 pesos. We don't have any problem with it.
And so you've heard this gentleman, he says that they've increased it to a flat rate. Let's talk to some passengers and see how they are faring by this new price. Hello, madam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Price now you have to sunu.
And you crown 50 pesos and I to your fair so. It's your money, your money, no matter what, and your money to so. It's your money, and your money, sika kura yen kura mpo no nyoma wasi ya to yentimi antone sa
na aban ediba say omofa 15% ento so no wo wa calculate ehun say dey so omode to so
mi calculate ye bembedu station no omo so omode 50 pesos asa ya to so enti ama ye ho akire ye nepa ba bia be fa bia ho kire nkoa.
Obviously, a list to clear some of these challenges would do. The GPLTU regional secretariat should bring a list to clear some of these challenges. It is clear that this woman did not really know the calculation of 15%, but she says that 50% is too much for her. Let's talk to the GPLTU chairmanship of New Tema Station. Sir, what has been happening during the increase? What has happened to your team?
There's nothing. Nothing happened because we decided to collect 50 percent. It's 4 cities, 60%. We decided to consider because you can't collect 4 cities, 60%. You have to consider passengers too. You can be a passenger at some place. So you decided to take 4 cities, 50%.
Now, quickly tell us, when are you expecting the official letters from the GPLTU?
I believe that the
Right, and that was Daniel Latin there at a lorry station in Tema Station in Accra. You heard from passengers and drivers and the GPRTU as well. Yaro is still with us in the studio. But Yaro, I want to know, do you publish the prices as they move in the dailies? How do you do it?
We do that in the dailies, in almost all the newspapers at the moment. Either in front or behind it, you'll see a table, and the table will actually show you the development with the prices on the world market. Such that by the end of 2 weeks, even the consumer with fair idea of how to find the average, is able to do the average project on their own. The extent to which prices may increase, reduce, or be stable. We have had some successes with that. A lot of the media houses now project fairly, and they're able to tell you we think prices should go up by 20%, and sometimes when we do our work and we compare it to yours, the margins are really not the difference in the margins are not that wide.
It all sounds rosy. I'm wondering how many people actually get to buy the dailies and read them and see how the trend goes. How about going to communities, using other mediums to communicate to them so they can understand and appreciate when these increases happen, and of course when we'll talk about reduction in a moment. So I
think it's a good suggestion. We can do that, so it's something to consider.
All right, and the last question, we'll do what do you think, and then we'll come back to Yaro in the studio. We're looking at petrol price increase, and I want to ask about when prices go down. I've only seen 1% reduction.
No, in October last year, petrol prices dropped up to about 6%. It's because for you, you fill up your tank, so you don't get to see it by the liter. Not many consumers really calculate the liter. It is just at this stage that we're particular about knowing the price per liter. But we either buy in money terms, or give me 20 cedis, 30 cedis, 50 cedis, or some people just fill up. If you fill up, you will not really know the differences when it begins to drop, because they drop most of the time. In October, for example, we had 6% reduction in petrol price.
All right. And
sometimes we come down all throughout the review period. So if you like, between now and end of the year, let's all keep an eye on it. If we get reductions, you would see that we affect the reductions on the market. Sometimes we don't get either a reduction or an increase, we go stable. And all these are signs of the full cost, and the consumer should just be rest assured that it will not only be increased all the time.
But people are not used to the 2 weeks increases. That's also a problem.
Well, I think we started sometime last year, and sometime this year we're just doing the gradual increments every 2 weeks, and we had to end it somewhere, because there was government intervention to pay some for you and me. So now that we're back to it, let's see how that table will continue, at least from now till end of year.
All right. Thank you very much. Yaro Kasambata is the PR for the National Petroleum Authority.